Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News, the day being the third day of the month at 2024. My name is BenTroy Njue and Anwangesh is my colleague who is handling the sign language interpretation. Of course, for details or more details of this, plus even comments of where you are watching us from, we highly recommend that you use our social media spaces. Straight to the news. Owners of market stalls in Kanguro Market in Nairobi have been given 2 weeks to start operations, or the stores will be taken away from them and given to traders who are seriously in need of business. Speaking after touring the market, Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja spoke out against plot owners who have refused to develop the market. A section of the traders, however, decried poor ventilation, lack of water and distribution of power in the facility, which they say has made it hard to operate.
Kuna wale walipatiwa stores, walikuwa allocated stores, lakini bado hawajaingia. We will give them a time frame. If by that time they don't enter, we will allocate other people those stores, because kuna watu wanafanya speculation. You know, there are some who speculate ili watoze watu wengine ushuru.
My main objective in this Nairobi, as per His Excellency the Governor, is to make sure that traders wamepata markets ambazo ziko modern and their working spaces are dignified.
Kwa gavana wetu, hata ingawa alikuwa hapa asubuhi, ni akuja tufungulie soko. Akitufungulia soko, watu wataijua.
Shida ingine ni joto. Joto ikiwa huku, vegetables haziendi.
Now to some other news where civil servants have now called off their strike that they had threatened to after reaching agreements with the government at Harambee House. This is what they had to say moments ago.
Our minister, and I want to appeal to all civil servants that let them now from today consider the CBA fully implemented, and the anxiety which was building within the service, I want to reassure them that let them now be confident enough, because whatever we agreed with the government has been given to us, and by the end of this month, we are confident all of them are going to get their pay. I want to commit myself on behalf of the team that as a leader,
we do apologize for that technical hitch in that report, but the civil servants have called of the strike that they had given the government about a month, and saying that the government has pledged to honor the CBA that they had entered into with them, and hence they have called off the strike. We'll be giving you more details on that. My colleague Aidan is keeping tabs with what is happening there. Now to county number 14, where Embu County government has entered into a 3-year partnership program with Beyond Zero Foundation in the fight against cervical and breast cancer. Through the program dubbed Beyond Zero Cervical Cancer Management Project, the county plans to conduct extensive cervical and breast screening awareness as well as treatment outreaches. Deputy Governor Kanguro Market said during the first year, the focus will be in Ruguru, Ngandore, Ngenda, and Gaturi North wards of Mbere North Sub-County, where they target to reach about 5,000 women. Beyond Zero Foundation representative Jane Kirago noted that CHPs will be very instrumental in this project in reaching out to women at the grassroots with messages on the importance of prevention and regular screening.
Kwa sababu tunaanza huu mradi tumesema ni miaka ya 3, lakini mwaka wa kwanza Deputy Governor tunataka kuangalia ni vipi ambavyo tunaweza kwenda sana mashinani, si kuzungumza juu, so that we make sure tunafanya impact.
Through acceleration of the mentioned activities with support from our partners, our ultimate goal is elimination of cervical cancer in Embu County by 2030.
I want to emphasize the importance of a multi-sectoral approach to tackling this issue. The fight against cervical cancer cannot be won by the health sector alone. It requires the active involvement of the community, the government, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector.
The Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Rebecca Miano, is urging Kenyans to visit the park to boost local tourism. Speaking in Tsavo National Park, Taita Taveta County, Miano said the government is intent on promoting and expanding local destinations to boost the tourism sector. She also commended the Kenya Wildlife Service for its tireless efforts to conserve the parks.
Tuko na mengi kabisa ya kuvutia watu wengi kuliko hata hiyo target yetu ya milioni 5. Tunatarajia tukitia bidii, tufanye kazi pamoja. Tumepata ushirika mzuri sana hata kutoka kwa rais. Ameshikilia hii wizara kwa sababu ametueleza hii wizara iko katika priorities zake, kuongeza watalii na pia kuhifadhi wanyama na kuhifadhi mazingira.
Now to the corridors of justice, where 2 women, one middle-aged and the other a 17-year-old girl, have been charged with inducing minors aged below 10 years to indecent sexual activities with a South African national in Malindi. Nafisa Abdul Rashid and Fatuma Mohammed, who appeared before Malindi resident magistrate Grace Mutemi, however, denied the charges leveled against them.
The court heard that Nafisa Abdul Rashid intentionally and unlawfully caused a 6-year-old girl to engage in indecent acts with Michael Ballantyne, a South African national currently at large on diverse dates between 1st and 23rd August 2023 in Malindi town within Kilifi County. The accused allegedly facilitated the movement of the minor from Maweni area to Malindi town and handed her over to Ballantyne, who allegedly touched her private parts. On the other hand, Fatuma Mohammed was charged that on the diverse dates between 1st and 22nd August 2024 within Malindi town, she caused a 3-year-old girl to engage in indecent acts with the South African national. While the prosecution asked the court not to grant the main suspect bond, citing risk to escape from the country, the defense lawyers led by James Mwoko pleaded with the court to have the matter proceed as quickly as possible. Malindi resident magistrate Grace Mutemi set the matter for mentioning on September 12 this year and directed that the 17-year-old girl be remanded at the Malindi Children Remand Center, while the women to be remanded at Malindi GK Prison.
Mimi nimesikia uchungu sana na twasikia uchungu sana kulingana na hili jambo. Sisi kila kukicha twenda mbio kuhusu watoto. Leo huyu jinamizi amekuja hapa Malindi, akaja akalifanya hivi.
Usiamini mtu siku hizi. Tumeelewana? Kama huyo wanawake wawili walioshikwa, wale wazazi walikuwa wanawapatia watoto wakijua ni jirani. Hawakuwaona kama ni watu wabaya. Wanasema huyu mama ni mama mwenzangu, tunakula pamoja, tunaishi pamoja, tunafanya kila kitu pamoja. Kumbe huku nyuma anakwenda kufanya nini? Anakwenda kuuza watoto wa wenzake kwa shilingi 2,000.
Joseph Wahungu for Lunchtime News.
Now, residents of Kampi, Turkana in Baringo South have called upon the government to address the alarming rise in child labor in the area, saying it has led to many children dropping out of school. The residents say parents have seemingly abandoned their children, and so children are now being exploited by farmers on tomato plantations. They further appeal to the government to construct a child rescue center in the village to protect children exposed to such activities.
ama kurugenzi ya watoto. Cognize two people. One is Achuka, you can just...
Wale watoto ambayo wazazi wao hawako, pengine wale ambayo wazazi wao wamefariki, wameafa, kama ile pengine mzazi alikuwa mgonjwa na akakufa, sasa akaachwa hivyo. Na unajua hapa hawana ile cross parents ambayo ati huyu akikufa huyu anachukua mtoto wake ama nini, mtoto anabaki hivyo tu.
Kampuni ya nyanya imefanya waweze kupata ile pesa ya haraka, such that hakuna ile transition rate from one school to another, na hiyo ndio issue kabisa imeaffect community, kwa sababu unapata pia watoto wako pale kwa scrap metals, so hata kitu ikijengwa kwa hii community wanachukua wanauza kwa sababu ile ya kupata pesa ya haraka.
Mambo ya child labor is a crime, so naomba tu kwamba serikali iingilie kati, waone kwamba hao watu ambao wanatumia watoto kufanya kazi ambao wana provide cheap labor wachukuliwe hatua.
In other news, the National Pesticide Control Board has launched investigations into the misuse of pesticides in Peketoni area of Lamu West Sub-County. The investigation aims to determine whether farmers are using the chemicals to the acceptable standards. According to a lead investigator, Frederick Moshiri, they will collect plant samples from various areas within the county for detailed analysis in government laboratories.
Onyo kali kwa watumizi wa madawa hapa Lamu ni ya kwamba unaweza kustakiwa. Tukikuja tufanye sampling kwako tupate unatumia madawa vibaya, kwa sababu tuko na huo uwezo, yale matokeo yanaweza kulandi wewe kotini na faini ni kubwa.
Tunafikiria jinsi ya kuletea wakulima innovations mpya za kuwasaidia kukausha hayo matawi kama hiyo ni changamoto. Wasitumie madawa ya kuangamiza wadudu ama kwekwe kukausha chakula, kwa sababu hawatazingatia muda ulio salama kungoja, na watapatikana kwamba kuna chembe ambazo zimebaki kule ambazo zaweza kulingana na viwango ambazo zitakuwa zimeweza kutumika ziweze kuwa na concern kwa health.
Elsewhere, the Abagusi Culture and Development Council has expressed concerns over the irregular closure and relocation of its office by the Kisii County government without consultation to pave the way for the construction of a new county headquarters. Supreme Council Chairman Matundura Araka, who spoke in Kisii, says the new location given by the county possesses security challenges to the elders. They have since resolved to urgently engage Governor Simba Arati to define a working relationship that will foster respect and unity in future by the two sides.
Mali yetu ya ofisi ambayo ilitolewa huko ng'ambo ikaletwa hapa kwa hii hall ya culture, ngali iko, lakini hatuamini security yake iko namna gani. Hii tutaongea na hii ofisi na wengine tujue hii vitu itakuwa na security ama itakuwa namna gani.
Residents of Turkana County and refugees in the Kakuma camp are set to benefit from a training spearheaded by GIZ in collaboration with Turkana County government. The training focuses on ways to start businesses and develop, among other ventures. The head of the project at the GIZ Corporation in Kakuma camp, Getrod Sukren, said the initiative is aimed at addressing addressing unemployment in the county and empower locals in the region.
Assistant Director in charge of Road Vocational.
We are introducing some interesting new achievements, like for example the job browser, which is aiming for youth in Kakuma and all Turkana West. So this is aiming especially for youth which with a lower education standard. So it's not comparable with FUSO. It is localized and also for the labor market on the ground.
We are fighting to see that where there are opportunities for employment, people
have equal opportunity to know, so that those who can chase those opportunities have an avenue.
We are working that in collaboration with UNHCR and its partners as a process of working together with the national government to roll out proper integration. And so we support the effort of solarizing with the technology that is being demonstrated today.
Kwale Governor Fatuma Achani has urged absentee landlords owning large parcels of land in the county to put the land into good use, saying the county government will take over the unused land for development purposes. Speaking in Msambweni, Achani said the county government is also taking measures to repossess parcels of land owned illegally, especially along the coastline in Diani, warning land grabbers that their days are numbered. She said that the county government, through the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, has repossessed Kisii, Mpunguti and Chale Islands from land grabbers.
Kuna ardhi mbili ambazo ziko katika bahari zimerudi kwa county. Sasa tumepeleka kotini kwa sababu ya title deed ambayo tumefukuzana nayo mpaka shamba tumerudisha kwa county government. Na kuna ardhi nyingi watu wamejifanya spectators, wamezieka zifanyi chochote hapo barini. Zio zeno ardhi ambayo hata ina chochote yule mwenyeku. Sisi kumaanisha na ardhi zetu wamezishikililia wakichukulia loni, sisi huku tuteseka. Tunataka zile ardhi tuzifanyie project, hawa watoto tunasomesha waweze kupata makazi kule. Na zile ardhi hazitorudi tu kama sisi viongozi hatutozipigania. Ndio sababu tutazipigania.
From the coast to Nairobi, where Kenyatta National Hospital, in collaboration with the Embassy of Japan, has launched an on-site program focused on human resource development for gastrointestinal diseases in Kenya, specifically in the endoscopy field. Dr. Linda Gadara, the head of endoscopy at the Kenyatta National Hospital, says about 13 persons are undergoing the 3-day training that takes place twice a year, with an exchange program happening in Japan. The training is geared towards sharing and enhancing skills between the two countries.
Where experts from Japan come and train with us here in Kenyatta, and then later a team from Kenyatta goes to Japan. This program is very beneficial to us because it equips our doctors, both from Kenyatta and around the counties, with skills to enable us to better treat our patients. This year we have 13 trainees, 6 from Kenyatta and 7 from the counties, that is from all over the country. So we have upper and lower GI endoscopy, that is upper is the stomach, the esophagus and the first part of the small intestines, and lower is the large intestines. Then we also have advanced procedures that we do in endoscopy.
Still on health, advocates of plant-based diet in Kilifi County have embarked on a campaign to educate residents on the importance of embracing and consuming vegetable in order to reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases. The campaign, being spearheaded across the county, aims to raise awareness on the benefits of vegan lifestyle. This call was made during the celebration to mark the Vegan Week, a celebration marked in 30 African countries to promote plant-based diets as a way of advancing healthier and more sustainable food choices.
Wiki inasherekewa hapa Kenya kwetu na nchi zingine za Afrika. Hapa Afrika kuna karibu nchi 30 ambao pia wanasherekea hii siku, na hii wiki ambayo inaanza tunasema ya kwamba Wakenya tutajifunga na tutakula mboga.
Tunahimiza watu wengi waweze kula hiyo plant-based diet kwa sababu ni rahisi kupanda kwa shamba yao nyumbani. Ni rahisi kuweka kwa shamba ndogo, kitchen garden pale nyumbani.
In the news, women have been urged to be in the forefront in the fight against female genital mutilation, FGM, unwanted pregnancies and early marriages. Speaking in Narok East, Nago County, during the launch of the Inua Jamii Initiative for Women, county women representatives, led by their chairperson, Faith Wairimu of Nyandarua, called on women to fight all forms of sexual exploitation to enable school-going children realize their dreams. They also urged schoolgirls to avoid engaging in sexual activities in order to complete their studies, urging parents to be counseling their girls to make them responsible people in future.
Mama County, nimeambia wakina mama wasikubali tena msichana kupashwa tohara. Kwa sababu huyu mama mwenye ameketi hapa, hakuna msichana atatoka kwa nyumba bila mama kujua.
Sasa hawa wasichana wenu, women reps wenu wenye mumeweka kwa nyumba, maminista wenu wenye mumeweka kwa nyumba, mimi ninaomba kwa heshima mtuchungie hawa wasichana kabisa. Hiyo kitu tafadhalini msiguze sahi. Hawa wasichana muonyeshe mapenzi, wamalize shule, watakuja kwa boma zenu, watawasaidia na kesho yenu itakuwa mzuri. Hapo tumekubaliana kina mama.
Rais ametuambia anaenda kutafuta market, wa mama muuze hizi shanga zenu tukipata pesa.
Now, a Malindi-based teacher who was honored to represent Kenya in the COP29 summer camp in Baku, Azerbaijan, held this month, has been hailed for her efforts in environmental conservation. Jacqueline Mwambire, who jetted back to the country, says she will use lessons learned at the summer camp to empower her students and communities around her on environmental conservation and climate change. Her school has been on the forefront in undertaking environmentally friendly activities such as beach and town cleanups, exercises, and the installation of segregation bins, among others.
We were equipped with climate change knowledge, the science behind climate change, its impacts, and we were able to exchange different solutions that were going to help curb this disaster, climate change, going forward.
We engage in student education in the environmental matters, like the 17 SDGs, and keeping the environment clean in general.
We collect plastics to conserve the environment, because when it enters water, it will be harmful to sea creatures like fish, turtles, and dolphins.
A lobby group from Migori County under the umbrella of Peace Champions has lauded the residents for maintaining peace and calmness during the heated countrywide anti-government protests. Speaking at a peace forum that brought together various peace stakeholders in Migori County, Peace Forum chairperson Otieno Owade lauded the formation of the broad-based government, noting it will go a long way in unifying the country.
Is one county that had been known in the previous years as hotspot. But our efforts all these last 3 years has brought it back now to be a normal place where everybody else would enjoy themselves in a very happy and quiet atmosphere.
It gives us a platform to renew our relationship and also our commitments towards peaceful coexistence.
Those borders are always prone to a lot of violence, especially cattle theft. As a government, we will ensure that we enable our traders, our youths to live in harmony.
And residents of Malaba North Ward have begun the process of collecting signatures to recall their member of County Assembly to oust their MCA Patrick Omanyala. The residents who held a demonstration in Malaba town accused the MCA of bad leadership arrogance and nepotism in service delivery. The resident lamented over the poor state of roads, a lack of clean water and bursary being issued according to voting trend, and vowed that they will be holding peaceful demonstrations weekly outside the ward office until the MCA is recalled.
Sisi tunaenda kufanya ile kitu inaitwa signatures collection 1000 according to sheria, ili tupeleke kwenye bunge ati aondolewe. Yeye sio permanent kwa kiti na hatuwezi ogopa kwa sababu saa hii anatisha vitisho, anatutumia vitisho kwamba sisi atadeal na sisi.
Wakati wa basaris za ward, basaris zilikuja, lakini msiye tena kachagua mtu wake mkubwa atuende utakuwa una supply hizi, unagawa hizi basaris. Kama ulikuwa umepatikana kwa mkono mwingine wakati wa siasa, unanyang'anywa hiyo basari. Tena barabara juzi mahali ya kuvuka hivi tukienda hiyo side ward nyingine, barabara ni maji tu, hata zingine leo tumepanda ndizi.
Hii ofisi hii manager kwake ni Angurai na anakujanga hapa kama mgeni. Hiyo ni ukweli? Anajuaje maslahi yetu? Atajuaje mambo yetu? Tukikuja hapa ofisini, mtu ambaye anatuhudumia hapa ni watchman.
Very well, at about 25 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for our fast break. But when we come back, I'll run you through a couple of more stories. Then we'll delve into business and later on sport. Keep it Channel 1.
Siku zinasonga sambamba na matukio yanavyojiri.
Kuyajua hayo, mbali na hamasa zilizopo kwingineko, shirika la utangazaji KBC limejitolea kuhakikisha ubora wa matangazo yasiyo na chuku.
Darubini huangazia mengi ya kusini na kaskazini, mashariki na magharibi, na kukuwasilishia kwa njia stahiki.
Ufasaha, usawa, uketo, pasipo kuegemea upande wowote.
Iwapo hutakishaka kwa unachoarifiwa, Darubini itakidhi mahitaji yako. Jina langu ni Nancy Onyancha.
Na mimi ni Harith Salim.
Jina langu ni Gladys Mungai.
Mimi ni Ahmed Jumabalo.
Nami ni Sarafina Robi.
KBC, angazo la Wakenya.
Crazy. Undoubtedly entertaining and mind-boggling. The savage netizens capturing that unique moment.
Welcome back. Now, Nago Constituency is domiciled in Nyandarua County and relies majorly on agriculture as its main economic stay. In this episode of Know Your Legislator, John Jacob Kuria visited the constituency to assess the implementation of various projects as the National Government Constituency Development Fund. The current Member of Parliament is George Gachagua. Here are the details.
Nago Constituency is littered with scenic landscapes that include the Aberdare Ranges. Beyond these scenic views is a constituency that has grappled with underdevelopment over the years. At first, we are confronted by the reality of dwindling education standards, with most school-going children forced to learn in dilapidated schools. The infrastructure is nothing to write home about. From gaping holes between the old wood that make up the classroom walls to storm water seeping in.
Hii shule ya Kaudha Primary School tulianzisha mwaka wa 1992 na imekaa ikiwa imejengwa na offcuts.
While other constituencies grapple with renovations and tiling, the area MP George Gachagua grapples with erecting new classrooms and tiling them.
My brother, once you assume an office, it's like signing and saying yours faithfully.
Schools such as Kahodha and Mutanga primary schools are now enjoying new school infrastructure, serving a section of a school courtesy of NGCDF.
Tumekuwa na madarasa ambayo hata ukiangalia kwa picha unaona hayakuwa yanastahili kwa wanafunzi ambao wanasoma vizuri, lakini sasa ametujengea madarasa mawili.
Ametujengea shule madarasa mazuri, tumeona barabara ameweza kuijenga na tunagojea mengi kutoka kwake.
Wakati tumemchagua mheshimiwa wetu George Gachagua, amekuja na akaona vile tunakaa vibaya, madarasa mabaya, na akaanza kujengea permanent classrooms.
Even existing infrastructure in some schools is in dire need of renovations.
I have done 16 new classes and 11 new classes are ongoing. And I'm finishing them to the good finishing and the good workmanship and such. I found a lot of schools with timber structures. To an extent, a kid from a different class would hear what the other teacher in another class is saying.
The constituency fund has so far been pumped into renovating classes in Kimaru, Kiandege, Subuku, Kameda, Pesi primary schools, each having 4 classrooms renovated, installed with steel doors and tiles, while Pondo Secondary has had 8 of its classrooms renovated.
Our school, we benefited by having 6 classrooms being renovated. The iron sheets were removed since they were leaking. The floor are tiled, and also some plastering was done. And also putting in place missing windows, and part of the electricity, that is power, was also done.
I was posted here in January 2024. The school was in a pathetic situation, and we applied for assistance from the CDF.
The CDF kitty, under the patronage of Gachagua, has also seen the construction of Parkview Primary School Administration Block. As a means of economic empowerment, the renovations and classrooms are done by local artisans.
Tunafanya kazi hapa ya CDF na tumesaidika kulisha watoto wetu na familia zetu.
Tunashukuru mbunge wetu wa Ndaragwa Mheshimiwa George Gachagua ambaye ameona hii mwanya na kutupatia hii keki ya serikali ili watoto waendelee kusoma vizuri wakiwa mahali ambapo hakuna uchafu, hakuna matope.
The constituency has set aside 60 million shillings of its annual CDF kitty for bursaries, where students access between 4 and 8,000 shillings.
Walipea boarding school grade 4 na university grade 8, na kusema ukweli tumeshukuru juu tumeona huyu mheshimiwa kwa masomo anapendelea sana.
Very soon I'll be a very proud member of parliament exhibiting the outcome of the money I am using on bursary. It may not be visible right now, but these students, once they are through with the studies, I'll tell you, some years to come, you'll hear a doctor, an engineer, a pharmaceutical, from these students who look like they can't go anywhere.
Most roads in the constituency have remained impassable. In fact, in the course of our tour of a constituency, residents of Shamata were out demonstrating over the stalled construction of a road that serves a major trade artery.
Kutoka hapa kuenda Shamata hakuna lami na barabara imeharibika sana. Na saa hii kwa wakati huu kuna mvua. Watu wanawekewa hapa, wanaenda miguu ama gari nalala kwa mtaro juu barabara sio mzuri.
There is a stretch that has really been a problem to me. And the other day people were actually even demonstrating. And to me, maybe somebody thought that I'll be affected by that. I can't be affected by that because people have a right to demonstrate when roads are bad.
Although hampered by ongoing rains, the Maironya-Ndogino Karampton Road is being tarmacked.
That road has been a nightmare. And even when I was campaigning, people there forgot about everything else. And to them, they were just emphasizing on how I could help, I could aid in that road being tarmacked.
The Subuku-Muhakaini Road has already been tarmacked, while construction of the Makereka-Subuku-Gakoe Road is ongoing.
I have promised the Daragwa people that roads will never a political issue there. They will never be a campaign tool again. I'm endeavoring to make sure that I'll see that around 106 kilometers will be done, will be tarmacked. And fortunately, I'm in a conversation with the president, and he is of the idea that he'll help me to make sure that they are tarmacked.
Despite the constituency bordering the Seneca-Badea ranges, the constituency suffers from acute shortage of water for domestic consumption and farming. Working in the National Irrigation Authority, the Simbara and Kihara dams are being distilled, with area residents hopeful the water will boost commercial agriculture.
Taanza zao mambo hii ya kupanda viazi. Tapanda ile kitunguu inapatia watu milioni ya pesa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kamilike haraka ndio mwaka ujao tuanze kulima na hiyo maji kitunguu ile itakupatia pesa.
In my first term, I want Daragwa people to compare the number of dams, the number of boreholes that I will do compared to the ones that my predecessors did. Every borehole will do an elevated tank, and from that elevated tank, we will articulate the community around.
Installation of electricity to homes is ongoing in several areas, including Nairobi area where we toured. To boost security and administration, Gachagua has prioritized the construction of Kihara Police Station and offices housing chiefs in Mwangaza and Wanyoike areas.
If you go to a chief's office, you'll find that some people, some domestic cases, these domestic cases, somebody is explaining himself to a chief, but the rest of the people are seated somewhere. The following day, it becomes like a scandal. So I decided I'll be constructing good administration blocks for the chiefs and the ACCs, so that when somebody goes to report anything, there is that privacy.
The soft-spoken legislator has adopted his own style of leadership as he continues to serve Daragwa.
I'm not this person who looks forward to be re-elected or to have that political fever out of talking. I want to work. I would like my work to talk more than making noise out there.
But the upgrade of critical infrastructure in schools remains his priority for the next 3 years. John Jacob Curia, Channel 1.
President William Ruto has held talks with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. The talks focused on offering Kenya agricultural produce enhanced access to the Chinese market, as well as development of more regional infrastructure projects. On infrastructure, the two countries agreed to extend the standard gauge railway and Rironi-Mau Summit Malaba dual carriageway. President William Ruto is in Beijing for the 9th Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit.
the all-important forum that brings China and Africa together. It is also an important opportunity for Kenya-China Comprehensive Partnership Agreement, a strategic partnership that is based on a people-to-people engagement framed on programs that are mutually beneficial between our two countries. I was here last year for the BRI summit, and I want to thank you for the conclusion of the program on Kenya's rural roads, the intelligence transport system that has now been concluded, and the progress that has been made on our technical vocational equipment program.
Back home, Equity Group is in the process of incorporating solar energy to power its branches and reduce its electricity bills as part of its sustainable strategy. Equity Group CEO James Mwangi is undertaking a feasibility study to inform the transition. Mwangi says integration of smart energy technology, including installation of LED lights at some of the Equity's branches, helped reduce power bills by 9.7% in 2023.
Approach, not a silo approach. And when you have an integrated approach, it becomes easy to work together. We are aligning our thoughts, our actions, and in the process, we are becoming a great force for change. Equity is doing its part. If you do your part, then the aggregate of our initiatives will be able to change the world.
Lenders should share the credit profile of borrowers to allow the sustainability of country's credit market. Metropol Chief Executive Officer Gideon Kipweakwai says information sharing enables other lenders to gauge the credit score of borrowers based on soft security such as character as opposed to physical collateral.
Most likely, what you are paying on time or you are not paying, all that information is shared with the Bureau. So we no longer have this thing we call blacklisting or listing. Every credit transaction is shared with the Bureau. And that is why today we are talking about scoring and rating. So as a borrower or as a business, what you should advocate for is for your information to be shared with the Bureau, because then you get a good credit score, and as a business you get a good rating that allows you to enjoy your soft collateral as a borrower. And your soft collateral is your character. Lenders in this market are able to give loans to somebody they have never met, somebody they don't even know whether they lives in a mud house or a brick house or a concrete house, only on the basis of their CRB profile of a credit score.
In other news, there is need to invest in local talent by providing access to technology to equip local creatives with the skills and tools needed to tell their stories. Kenya Film Commission CEO Timothy Owase says film, photography and other creative arts have the potential to generate billions of shillings in income and creating sustainable economic opportunities in Kenya. He said this at KCA University during the 10th anniversary of Canon's Miraisha program that has so far empowered 7,000 trainees and equipped them with the skills, technology and confidence needed to tell their stories through film.
Most parents are really focused on championing their children to do other courses that are not arts related. But where we are today, I don't think there is a better career than a career in the creative industries. And I want to urge all parents and Kenyans in general that let us champion storytelling as a critical factor for social cohesion as well as economic prosperity.
It is being taught to ensure that the curriculum, the content of what is being taught, really responds to the needs of the 21st century and beyond. So we are very, very confident that these scholarships, these students who are going to be trained here, and other KCA University students really get the best that is available to make them world-class citizens and global players.
It's a wonderful day where we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of this program. 10 years back, when Miraisha program was born, our aim as Canon was to live our corporate philosophy of Kyosei, which means for living and working together for the common good. In simple terms, we want to contribute to the betterment of the society where we do our business. And we felt that what better than providing employment opportunities to the people in Africa, because that is one of the big challenges which we saw in African continent.
Now, the government has intensified a cross-border nationwide crackdown on outlets importing substandard seeds and selling them to farmers. Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service KEFI's chairman Joseph Muthari, who was speaking during an inspection at the Namanga one-stop border point, says several unscrupulous traders are on the radar of security agents in efforts to avert cross-border import of substandard goods.
Manufacturers and distributors of substandard seeds have made farmers count huge losses. According to the Seed and Plant Varieties Act Cap 326 of 2012, anyone convicted of selling uncertified seeds is liable to a fine of up to 1 million shillings or a jail term of up to 2 years or both penalties. With the production and distribution of fake seeds still on, the government is keen to avert the production of the counterfeits.
We are putting on notice those unscrupulous seed traders who are selling fake seed, that our inspectors will come and arrest you and take you to court according to Seed and Plant Varieties Act. So ensure that you don't trade in uncertified seed.
Haja kubwa ni kuhakikisha kwamba tusiweze kuleta magonjwa na pia vijidudu ambavyo pia zinaweza kuadhiri ama kuleta madhara kwenye mimea.
KEFI's chair Joseph Muthari, who spoke during an inspection tour at Namanga one-stop border post, says the government will continue the crackdown to ensure farmers are not duped by unscrupulous traders.
Kulikuwa na kongamano la kimataifa kuhusu umuhimu wa mbegu bora, na hapo pia tulikuwa tunaongea ili wale watu wanakusa mbegu hapa Kenya pia mbegu iwe ya rahisi, ili wakulima wengi wawe wanamundu kununua mbegu. Tuangalie ni nini nafanya bei ya mbegu iwe rahisi, kwa sababu bei ikiwa rahisi wakulima hataenda kununua mbegu ingine wanafikiria ni mzuri lakini sio mbegu bora.
A similar inspection, which was spearheaded by KEFI's early this year, saw an interception of around 18 metric tons of fake seeds across the country, worth over 80 million shillings. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
Now, lenders should share the credit profile of borrowers to allow the sustainability of the country's credit market. We have that a little bit later on, but the World Bank has rolled out a training targeting to train and equip the youth with key ICT skills such as digital marketing, cybersecurity, and web design. Among students to benefit from the training are those at the Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, whose head of ICT, Patrick Mwai, says the training would help prepare the youth for future jobs, 85% of which are projected to require ICT skills.
Made a deliberate decision to prepare for future careers in technology. The digital skills she has gained so far have not only enhanced her learning, but also earned her other soft skills such as communication skills, teamwork, tolerance, and time management. She indicates that she has now learned that computers are not only simply machines, but a gateway to innovation, problem solving, critical thinking, and collaboration.
We are in a revolving world where technology is taking a larger space. This skill will not only enable me fit in the job market, but also help organization, institutions to create websites to also pass my skill and knowledge to other students or any other person who hasn't gotten opportunity to acquire this skill.
Most students like Ivy are benefiting from a World Bank-sponsored scholarship program where participants will be equipped with skills to empower them to innovate and set up online ventures for job openings and increased income as aspiring entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs these days also use a website to showcase their work, and many people really get interested in their work.
Sometimes I go to websites, I visit websites, they are not interesting, they are not impressive, so I just leave them. Then I was like, why don't I go take advantage of this scholarship, then do something and make those websites impressive.
The project seeks to subsidize tuition costs for students to ensure rapid technological advancement in Africa.
What we've been able to do is that we have segmented it into 3 blocks. Block number 1 is the fund that will be used for training, and that is what is currently happening, which will take around 4 months. Then segment number 2 is the funding that will be used for incubation. And there is a very important aspect of training. We want to train them and then take them to another step where they'll be able to understand what is this, how do I run a little business. They simulate some of those things.
Ian Muse for Lunchtime News.
Time for some sporting action. The 5th round of the 2024 National Sevens Circuit, the Driftwood Sevens, has received a sponsorship boost of 3 million shillings from Kenya Breweries Limited. The tournament will take place at the Mombasa Sports Club this weekend. Kenya Rugby Union Commercial Director Harriet Okach said the sponsorship will play a crucial role in ensuring the success of the event, and fans can look forward to a memorable tournament this year. Kenya Harlequin currently tops the 2024 National Sevens Circuit with 75 points, while Kabras RFC is placed second on 73 points. KCB, Menengai Oilers and Catholic Monks complete the top 5 teams on the log. Further afield, world #1 Jannik Sinner beat Tommy Paul to set up an exciting quarterfinal against Daniil Medvedev. Italy's Sinner won 7-6, 7-6, 6-1 in front of a rowdy New York crowd. Russia's Medvedev, the 2021 US Open champion, sent an